Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. So about 2 years ago now, I moved into my house, and one of the first things that I did was I made a home library. I learned pretty quickly that it just wasn't what I wanted. It was dark and it was cluttered, and I just didn't feel like it properly expressed the space that I would feel the most comfortable in. Back in March, I started to redo the room. Yes, it is now November. I realize that it has taken quite a while to do things. It's not totally done, but I feel like if I wait until it's done, it won't actually be done. It will never be done because keeping a house and decorating a house never feels finished. But today I thought I would give you guys an updated library tour and a little bit of the process of the makeover. But first, let's talk about Book of the Month. This video is so kindly sponsored by Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a monthly book subscription box. I have personally been subscribed to Book of the Month for quite some time, and I'm always interested to see the book selections that they have. Basically, each month they have 5 new book selections, and they tend to be fresh and upcoming voices. You choose from this selection of 5 books or more, and if it just isn't something that you're feeling that month, if none of the selections seem like something you're into, or if you're just too busy for the month, you can easily skip to the next month. You can also select books from previous months for a discounted price as well, which I love. I'm always here for a good deal. I love me saving money, as you will see. The other thing that I absolutely love about Book of the Month is that the price is unbeatable. It is unbeatable. It is about $15 a month, $14.99. You are paying $15 for a hardback book, which is just unbeatable. Most of these books would be anywhere over $25 to $30 in a bookstore. So I love saving me some money. You can get your first book of the month for $9.99 right now with the code SAYBOOK, and I will have a link down below to Book of the Month. The other thing that I really loved is how varied their book selection is. Selections here right now, so you can go over to the website and get your first book for $9.99. But let's talk about the selection. This time next year sounds so cute. It sounds like the perfect rom-com to de-stress to. Minnie and Quinn, who happen to be born on New Year's, and while Minnie has kind of had a distressing life, she blames it on Quinn, who somehow ended up winning the award for the newborn baby the year that they were born. So she blames him for all her inconveniences. They keep running into each other and realize soon that they keep wanting to run into each other, and I think that this just sounds so cute. There's the star-crossed sisters of Tuscany. This follows the women of the Fontana family, and basically a curse was put on them years and years ago that the second-born daughter will never find love. And while some of them think it's just an odd coincidence, some of them truly believe in the curse. It isn't until one of the aunts calls and says that if they accompany her to Italy, one of them will meet their true love and the curse will be broken. However, along the way, I do think some secrets come out and things are revealed about the family that could be more damning to them than the curse. There's also a memorial, and this is about 2 men, Mike and Vincent, who are married, and they've been married, but they feel maybe they aren't in love anymore. Mike ends up packing up and going to Japan to learn more about his family and his own history, while Vincent stays home with an unconventional roommate. They both ended up learning things along the way that helped them learn more about the strength of family. I feel like this could be a heartwarming or a devastating literary fiction. And then the 2 that I would probably be the most excited for. This follows Leela, and some girls around her town have gone missing, and it just so happens that they are now connected to her husband, who is also missing. But Leela is slightly confused because the last time she saw her husband, he was dead. So now she wants to know why the hickety heck her husband is not staying dead. And then the very last one is one of my most anticipated releases. This has been hyped up everywhere. These Violent Delights. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling in Shanghai, and it is about mobs. I am so here for it. I am such a sucker for any type of Shakespeare retelling, and this one just sounds so good. This follows Juliet, and she is the heir to the Scarlet Gang. And of course, naturally, their enemies are the White Flowers, and so naturally her enemy is the heir of the White Flowers, which is Roma, who just happened to be Juliet's first love, and he betrayed her. However, some sort of madness or contagion is now going through the mob. They have to figure out what is happening to the members of their gangs, and they're gonna have to team up and do it together. It sounds amazing. Just a reminder that you can get your first book for $9.99. I'll have a link down below. Now let's get into my updated library tour. Starting on this side of the room, I did replace the quite large couch with just something smaller. I was looking originally for just a single reading chair. However, the animals like to come sit with me, so I knew I would need space, especially for Frankie, and honestly, this is where a lot of the animals spend a lot of their time. I really was into kind of the velvet theme going forward, and I knew I wanted to bring in tones of green and more antique-y kind of feels. I wanted to bring back some of that darkness while still lighting up the room. So one of the first things that I really knew I wanted to do was paint everything white and get a green velvet couch of some sort. So this isn't like the most comfortable thing, but honestly it's fine for me. I ended up putting it at an angle because of where the TV is still located, so that I can face the TV out, but I can also have a full view of my library and not just like facing one section. It just feels so cozy and inspiring to look at my shelves when I'm here. I know this section probably isn't going to fit into frame. The section right beside it, I knew that I wanted to dedicate more to displaying things because again, it did free up space, but I have so many trinkets. I have such a love for trinkets that I knew I needed a place to kind of store some things that I didn't necessarily want to display, but display some of my pieces. That is how this section came to be. I also knew I wanted to go with a darker wood to match the dark wood of the floors, so that is what I ended up doing. I got this fantastic chest here for free. It was hideous, and basically I removed all the paint and I sanded it down and I stained it, and I think it just looks so much better. I also ended up painting the inside black and just giving it kind of a fresh new look. If you've seen in my organization video, I have my candles up top and then just some stuff that, you know, doesn't need to be seen underneath of here. I do keep a lot of my Harry Potter memorabilia here. I decided that when I went into this room, I wanted it to have kind of a worn library look. I wanted it to be kind of witchy and antique-y, so I did keep a lot of the stuff out that just seemed more general than specific. So I do have a lot of wands, I have a golden egg, a lot of old looking books, and a lot of kind of gold and brassy and dark tones going on here in a way that I thought just felt cohesive. The wand display is a DIY that my stepdad actually made for me, and then I just strung some fairy lights behind it. It's very heavy duty. And then the shelves, the brackets, I literally bought for like $3 at Walmart, and then I just bought the shelves and stained them all. And yeah, a lot of this stuff ended up coming from yard sales, and I'm pretty happy with it. This is probably like the best looking part of the whole room. This wall here is blank. I would like to end up filling it with something, you know, maybe some artwork, but I just haven't found anything that's like the perfect piece yet. And then of course, if you saw my organization video, I did end up putting my Funkos here. They were along this wall and I ended up moving here. They fit perfectly here. These cases, I get so many questions about these cases. They are baseball bat cases from Michaels. I'm sure other craft stores have baseball bat cases. I don't know why that's a thing, but I got these and then I ended up painting them white. For some reason they do not come in white, and then to cover up the back to make it a little bit lighter, I actually covered it with pages from Harry Potter books. So I think it ended up turning out really well, but it was such a pain to make. Back here I just have a bunch of stuff that I just throw back there. It's extra blankets and pillows and stuff. I really don't have much to say about this corner. I tried to leave as much kind of empty space that I could, but this has just been home to my TBR cart. I did have people ask me about where I bought the cart like this. I didn't. I just bought a plain cart. And then I made decals on my Cricut that say to read, to haul, and to return. To read, my TBR. To haul, because I am a YouTuber and I do haul videos. I have a place to keep them. And then to return, because I'm a librarian and I use the library a lot. People were very confused. They thought I was returning books to the bookstore all the time. I'm sorry that I have misled you to that. So I realize a lot of people might be slightly confused about why my desk is sideways, especially because I love the fronts of these desks. I originally tried several different variations of this in order to get it to work in a way that I felt like it would still showcase it. Sometimes you have to give up your aesthetic for function, and this honestly is just the best orientation. It manages to fit everything that I need in a kind of simple way without feeling like I've just shoved everything against the walls. And it allows me to move this chair in and out to where I need to, but it also provides a great backdrop when I'm on Zoom calls. Have a Murphy desk as well that then comes down and turns into kind of like a sectioned off area that I can then do crafts from. So obviously there's not a lot of storage here. I do have some things stashed away underneath, which isn't super ideal, but it is what it is. I also chose to go with more sheer curtains because I still wanted the light to come in here. I love natural light and I didn't want anything to hinder that. I didn't want any dark material hanging from the walls to hinder that. So light and airy in here. And of course I already had this. The desk is from Target. This chair is one that I got years ago and it was actually a pink floral, and my mom and I actually reupholstered it to this to kind of fit in way before. This has always kind of been my style, so we painted it and reupholstered it. I also decided to keep a spider picture up because I love spiders. You will see I have some more spidery things throughout the room. But I decided to keep it up year round instead of just Halloween. A lot of this decor is actually Halloween decor, but it just fit the theme so much more. Yeah. Alright, this area is the area that probably took the longest to do just because of gathering things. That and this Murphy desk was out of stock from IKEA for months. And I knew this is what I wanted. I had to have this. I needed more storage. I needed more workspace for when I do crafts and DIYs and stuff. So I knew I needed this. So the moment it went into stock, we ran to get it. And I don't live anywhere near an IKEA. So the other thing was getting this, which I'm still not fully happy with this, but it works. But this basically is where I have to store all my extra stuff. So I tried to do it in a way that was still kind of aesthetic, but again, sometimes you just gotta give up aesthetic for functionality. So a lot of this stuff is just like, I keep spare bookmarks, I keep electronics in here, any of my cords and stuff. Keep my stamps and stuff over here, my label maker, just some extra books, textbooks, my stickers, my planner stuff. It's all kind of over here. Up there are actually the book covers that I have taken off of my books. So they are stored somewhere, and then just some stuff for like my Cricut and stuff goes in there. And then this beautiful masterpiece. I do have to push this out a little. I don't mind. It's a minor inconvenience. This goes over and this comes down. I did paint it white, and one of the other things that we had to do is that it originally is supposed to be like on a legged shelf. It is not meant supposed to go on the wall. I said I want it on the wall. So we made it work on the wall. We added a piece of support board, the sides, and then that's how we ended up screwing that into the wall. And then we ended up creating a ledge that it sits on that is also screwed into the wall. So this is where I keep my Cricut and a lot of my DIY supplies, hot glue gun, hot glue sticks. I have all my markers in here. I have even more washi tape, my paper scraps and stuff. So it's pretty much all in here. Originally I tried to fit my computer and stuff in here, and it was just, I was worried it would be way too heavy, but this works great. And this is, you can move this, you can add more, so I'm just seeing how it works for me now. So far it's been great, and then I can just pull my Cricut out, do what I need to do, and be done. And then this just pops right back up. Because people have asked. Yes. I do keep my wigs on my closet door. Then we get to the shelves. Now the one major upgrade here is that I did end up mounting the TV, and it was just sitting before, so I had to mount it in order to turn it in whichever direction I'm sitting, so now I can watch it either at my desk or on the couch. That was probably the big thing, and then I ended up taking a lot of the stuff that was on there and just replacing it with just more display stuff. Questions that I always get. Where did you get these shelves? My stepdad actually handmade these shelves for me. They are built into the wall, so they aren't exactly movable or findable in a store, but anyone could build them. All the shelves that I've had pretty much have been built, so they were in my last apartment and they are again now. I wanted them to be all the way across the wall, so we knew we were going to have to customize them. I do think it was around $500 in order to make them. And then we did leave out a section for the TV because I knew I wanted a TV. I'm still iffy about this part. I've been thinking about DIYing like a fake fireplace to fit in here maybe, just because I don't really need this section right now. I say that now, but I can't stop buying books. So, and then the other thing people ask is the ladder, and my stepdad also custom made the ladder. He found out a system that kind of made it work. It does move. It does move, it is movable, it is functional. I use it all the time. I actually use these more for shelves, and I put the things that I've read for the month here, so when I go to do my wrap-ups, I just check my ladder. But these, I do need them. When I posted pictures, I've had people that are like, what do you need a library for? It's not even that big. I am a very short person. I am very small, and I cannot reach all the way up here. So that is why I need a ladder. Plus, who doesn't want a library with a ladder? Come on. Am I the envy of my friends? Not really, they don't care. I have already done a video where I talked about covering my books, because as you can see, the majority of my books are covered. They are covered actually in like a painter's paper because the rolls were really inexpensive at Walmart. They were like $2 to $3. So, and there was a lot of paper in it. Craft paper was just a little too thick, and it was just the perfectness because I was going for a very specific aesthetic in here, and I was over the rainbow, I was over the brightness, so I just wanted something a little more subdued. So I did end up wrapping a majority of the books, and this did allow me to customize things with it. So the way I wrote it on the side, I could write if I had read it on the back, when I had read it, my star rating, things like that. So that was something that ended up being quite important. It took a lot of time, and my books that I need to cover have actually gone here. So of course it's an ongoing process, but so far it has worked out. So I'm very happy with the results. I love the way that it looks. I ended up re-adding trinkets onto my shelves. Before they were on and then they were off, and then they were on and then they were off, and I ended up re-adding them just so I knew I had to leave space for more books coming in. So this kind of allows me to do that in a sense. And they are semi-alphabetical, so like A, B, C, D by title. They're not in order within the shelves, but the shelves themselves are alphabetical. And most of these things came from yard sales. This was $3. I had someone ask me where this came from. It's from a yard sale. I probably had the sticker on it at some point. It was probably like $2. A lot of this stuff is thrifted. Another thing that I ended up adding is fake ivy. I really, really wanted ivy, but this room does not get enough light to sustain it. Also, it would take way too long to get it to the length that I would need it. So I ended up getting fake ivy, and I honestly think that it looks fine. It looks okay. You know, there's debate about how cheesy they look, so I think they're fine in my space. It's a spider book. It is one of my most prized possessions. It's a very expensive book, but I just had to have it. I love spiders. Slightly terrified of them still, but still. So I knew I wanted to display that in some way, and then this was a Halloween print. For some reason, I feel like this side just seems to look better. I think just because it's so much fuller. But again, alphabetical kind of deal, just some spare stuff on the top and then some storage stuff more so along the bottom. But going for a very particular aesthetic, I stuck with browns and greens and blacks and kind of vintagey looking things sticking out and on display. And the one difference is that I did add a carpet on this side of the room because it is the side with the couch and whatnot, so I wanted to make this more of a cozier and just kind of differentiate it from the rest of the room. But the room, I think, just looks so much bigger and just so much more cozy, and I just ended up loving the way that it turned out. I am honestly so happy with how this has turned out. Again, there's a few things that I want to add, but I think this room will just be ever changing anyway as I go through life and as my tastes change, and there's just some upgrades that I'd like to do. But I honestly think that this is such a big transformation from where it started from back in March. And I put a lot of work into kind of DIYing and taking the things that I have and making them new. I know people are going to be asking me to do like a full bookshelf tour where I show you all my books. It's not going to happen. And that's mostly just because most of my books are covered. You won't be able to see them anyway. This has become such a happy place for me, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad that I decided to do it. I will try to leave a link to anything that I ended up buying from somewhere that is still buyable online. I do want to thank Book of the Month again for sponsoring this video and just being a service that I really enjoy. Let me know what your favorite part of the library is. I'm sure I can already guess it, but let me know anyway. I hope you guys have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!